Okay, so I'm just going to get started. Thank you guys for joining. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Renelle, and I am the Spiceaholic behind Umami Bermuda. And we are really excited about taking you through Whole30. I am not a Whole30 expert, but I have done it before, and I think it's a really good way to reset your mind, your body. So if you're wondering what Whole30 is, it's just a way of eating that allows you to strip all of the allergens, processed food, junk out of your diet for 30 days, just so that you can see where your issues are when you re-enter certain foods back into your diet. But the 30-day period allows you long enough time for you to clean everything out. If you are planning to do the Whole30, if you go to, they have a starter kit that I just printed this off last night. I actually have the Whole30 book that has everything Whole30 in it, and it has recipes. But if you don't want to buy the book, they have a starter kit online where you can just go to Whole30.com, download the starter kit, and it'll give you guidance for the 30-day period. I only printed off a couple of pages because I just wanted to highlight a few things today that's in the starter kit. So I'm just gonna go right in. So what is the Whole30? The Whole30 is basically just saying yes to real food and no to everything else. And the no things are no sugar, no added sugar, real or artificial. No alcohol in any form, not even for cooking. Do not eat grains. And I think you have to be really careful. If you are eating Whole30 properly, you probably don't need to look at your ingredients because the types of food that you're eating don't have ingredient labels. But if you are buying something and it has an ingredient label, just look down at the bottom under ingredients. A lot of people look on the side with the like sugars and carbs and protein. That doesn't tell you what's in the food. So you want to make sure that if you're looking at labels, you look at ingredients and it doesn't have any sugar, any chemicals, any wheat, any dairy. So you're also not going to be eating legumes on the Whole30 program. Dairy. You don't want to consume carrageening, MSG, or sulfites. Those are things that are added into food. You know how sometimes you see a bunch of stuff that you can't pronounce in the ingredients and you don't know what it is? Well, you can look, sometimes I'm in the grocery store and I'll just Google something that's on the back of a label because I'm like, I don't know, like just because I don't know what this is doesn't mean it's bad for me. But like what's so fortunate enough to have Google, so you can just literally I just do it verbally to Google. I don't even want to say it right now because it's going to come up. But yeah, just go online and just see what it is. The other day I was Googling something. I think it was an anti-caking agent that some companies use in spice blends. And I was like, what is this? And I think it was like arsenic or one of those like known poisons. And I just couldn't believe that they put that in something just so that it doesn't clump. So anyway, yeah, just look at the ingredients. Be careful about what you're buying. The other thing is that you're not to consume baked goods, junk foods, or treats with approved ingredients. Some people, when they're on an eating plan, they're like, oh, I want cookies, but I'll make them out of like bananas and fruit, I don't know. And so they get to have their cookies. But the idea of this is not just to change what you're putting into your mouth, is to change the way that you think about food as well, and the snacks and the treats. You know, I read this thing the other day and it was like, bad food is not a reward. And I was like, wow, that's so true, because people are always like, oh, I did this, so I'm going to treat myself to something really, really, really unhealthy for me. So I feel the same way about this. Like, bad food is not a reward. So yeah, no treats that are baked goods made out of banana on the Whole 30 program. And the last thing is that you are not to weigh yourself or measure yourself during the 30 days. So by all means, weigh yourself at the beginning of the 30 days and at the end, but not during. And from what I understand, I believe that is just because people get so tripped up by the numbers. You can't see all the benefits that are going on inside your body when you're doing something like this. So you don't want to be obsessively, I mean, I have a nerve because I love a scale. Like, I have a scale in my closet and I step on it almost every day, but it's probably a habit. But for the next 30 days, I'm not going to step on my scale because I want to follow the program completely. For me personally, I'm not really doing this as a weight loss, even though I would be really excited if I lost weight. But for me, it's more of a reset because I've been feeling kind of sluggish. Sometimes I get migraines. I know when I'm being bad, and I know that sometimes the things that I feel, I know that food is creating them. So I was just like, you know what? I just need to do something different for a minute. So that's what I'm doing. You might be wondering, like, what am I gonna eat? Because she's just listed off every single thing that I eat. You can eat fruits, you can eat vegetables, you can eat meat. You can also eat little things that tickle me because I love butter and I love mayonnaise. You can have mayonnaise, but you have to make it yourself, or you have to use a Whole 30 compliant mayonnaise. So for me, I feel like I looked for mayonnaise in the stores and I didn't see anything, but that was a couple of years ago, so maybe it's different now. But I found making mayonnaise to be like the easiest thing ever, and it was really good. So you just put it in a food processor, put your eggs in there, drizzle olive oil in there while it's going, and you have mayonnaise. So for people who love those things like I do, that's really good news. You can have ghee or clarified butter. I find it easier to just buy ghee, but you can use fruit juice as a sweetener for the people who have a sweet tooth. You can use green beans and most peas, even though they fall into the category of legumes, but you can use those. You can have vinegar and botanical extract. You can have coconut aminos, and you can have salt. This says you can have iodized salt, and you can. I prefer to use a better quality of salt, but that's just me. So yeah, I feel like there's a lot in that you can eat. What I've found from doing the program in the past is that you have to have a plan. Eating healthy is easy if you have a plan. So I do find that when I'm on something like this, I prefer to cook at home, just because in a restaurant, it's like, I mean, I'm always turning up the menu in a restaurant anyway, but it's worse when I'm on a program like this. And yeah, I'm not afraid to do it, but it's just so much easier to have food at home. I like to eat kind of the same things every day, except at night. So the way that I tackle the Whole 30 is that I like to have a smoothie for breakfast or an omelet. Like, that's just easy peasy. I don't have any special recipe or anything like that. For smoothies, a lot of people think that a smoothie can't build them up. And I think that's because they're not putting the right things in their smoothies. You want to make sure you have a protein, a carb, and a fat. So I like to use some type of nut milk. Coconut milk's my favorite. I have greens. I like to use kale, spinach, or I'm really liking using bitter greens in my smoothie because they don't taste bitter in the smoothie. So it's a good way to get your bitter greens in. And bitter greens are so good for you. It's a good way to get those in without having to, like, for people who don't like the bitterness, to taste the bitterness. arugula, mustard greens, dandelion, like those types of things are really good for you. And I actually really like the bitterness of arugula and mustard greens if they're paired with the right foods. But so I like to put those in my smoothies. A little bit of fruit. For protein powder, I like hemp seeds. I don't really use any of the like processed protein powders or ground protein powders. I use whole hemp seeds. To me, I always figure like the less processed, the better. And even I feel the same way about spices. Like if you leave spices whole and don't grind them until just before you use them, it keeps like the nourishment intact, the flavor intact. So I do the same thing with the hemp seeds. I just like to buy them whole. Hey Amir. Hey Victoria. So yeah, so you want your protein. I also like to put adaptogens in my smoothies. So this is where like spices come in. I have a spice blend. It's an Ayurveda mix that I use in my smoothie every time I make a smoothie. I just put a teaspoon in of it, and it's like a cinnamon, clove. I can't remember what else is in it actually right now, but it's a blend of warming spices. Cinnamon's really good for your blood sugar and your digestion. So if you eat cinnamon with every meal, like that would be amazing. I have other adaptogens that I put in my smoothie. Sometimes I put some camu, which is like for my vitamin C. So just think about the things that you feel like you want to nourish yourself and just throw them all in your smoothie. I'm just trying to think if I've left anything out. But yeah, just make sure you have some sort of fat, avocado, nut butters. Sometimes I put MCT oil in my smoothie. Yeah, so smoothies are really easy. And sometimes like if you don't have a lot of time in the morning, sometimes you can just put everything in the blender and just put the liquid in the morning and blend it up. I mean, I guess you could blend it the night before, but I don't know. I feel like I've never really done that, so I don't know anything about that. But I have put all the ingredients in the blender the night before and then just put the liquid in the morning and blended it. And that's a good way to be able to grab it and run out of the house. Omelets for breakfast are another great way to have an easy Whole30 meal that's delicious and that will fill you up. I'll put spinach, tomato, onions, mushrooms, whatever I want in my omelet. And I don't usually do those on a work day. Sometimes I'll go to like one of the grocery stores in town if I want an omelet and just get them to make it. And I just make sure that the egg doesn't have anything in it like milk or anything like that. I'm like, can I just get plain egg and no cheese and just all the things? So that's an easy way to tackle breakfast that I find for Whole30. The starter kit has all sorts of suggestions in them, but I just feel like with these things, it's easier to be realistic about what you can do and how much time you have in the morning. Because if you make it too hard, then you get discouraged and you're like, oh, I tried to do the Whole30, but it was too much, this and that and the other. So I feel like that's an easy way to get through breakfast. I am a bit of an intermittent faster, but the Whole30 does recommend that you eat 3 meals a day. So I'm gonna make an effort to eat 3 meals a day. And it also suggests that you don't really snack, like eat enough at your meal so that you're not feeling the urge. Like if you feel like you need to snack throughout the day, then you haven't eaten enough in your meal. So that's another thing to consider. So yeah, 3 meals a day. And you can have an extra meal if you work out, after your workout. And there are some guidelines about what should be in that meal. You need some easily digestible protein and carb-dense vegetables. Not fruit in that, and not fat. So I don't think I was working out the last time I did Whole30, but I'm gonna try to get back on my exercise game next week too. So, okay, so that was breakfast. For lunch, I think the easiest thing to have is just a really big salad every day. Hey, Salon Pink. you guys. Thank you. So yeah, a salad with meat. And it's so many different types of salads you can have. Like you can have chicken salad. You can have salads with, what I like to do sometimes on a Sunday when I'm doing a program like this, is just roast like butternut squash or, thank you, roast butternut squash or sweet potatoes, different types of vegetables. And during the week, you just have all of this stuff in the fridge that you can just throw in a salad and go. I stress easy and quick a lot because I just feel like if it's not easy and quick, then it's harder to stick to it. Like I just like to make stuff like this as easy as possible for myself, so that I can be as successful as possible. So salads, throw anything in the salad. To me, like a salad could be anything, and then you put some dressing on it. But make sure your dressing is Whole30 compliant. And if I were you, I would just make my dressing myself. I just put you know, some balsamic vinegar, some olive oil. Thank you. Some olive oil and, you know, some spices. You can put some mustard. I'm pretty sure you can use Dijon mustard and regular mustard on the Whole30 program. So big salad for lunch. You've had your smoothie or your omelet for breakfast. And then with dinner, I like to do a meat and a vegetable. So I forgot to bring my computer. Actually, I had some things that I was going to suggest for the first week, but I think I'll do a post with the things in it. But I was thinking that we can cook together a couple of nights a week. For me, I feel like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday works best. And I'll suggest what we can cook and the spices that I'm going to use and that sort of thing. So yeah, I think I'll have to do a post about that. But I'm doing a post tomorrow, and it's a whole chicken with grilled zucchini. And I had that the other night. Really delicious, really easy to make, completely Whole30 compliant. So I think if you think of your dinners as meat and vegetable, then you've pretty much got it. And eat a lot of vegetables, you know, like that's the nice thing about this program, is that you don't have to count your calories when you're eating like this. You eat until you're satiated, and you can feel good about yourself and not stuffed. Let me just go through and see what I have not covered. So yeah, I told you to download the program. That's the easiest thing. It's so much information online. You can follow them on Facebook, and it's other Whole30 sites with individuals who are doing Whole30, and they have recipes and all the things. So I think that's a good way to go as well. I am going to put a little bundle of spices. There'll be the regular spices, the spices that are Whole30 compliant, and I'm gonna add in 2 smoothie blends to the bundle, just so that if you're gonna do the smoothie route, you can have those to put in your smoothie. One's gonna be a cinnamon based and one's gonna be turmeric based. Obviously, all of these spices are really good for your gut, but they also are really good for different things in your body. Turmeric's a powerhouse. Like, it's good for like antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, all the things. So, but all the other spices have different, more specific things that they're good for. So I just like to, you know, mix them together and throw them in my smoothies. So those will be on the website. So the cooking days are Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And I think it'll be really great to have a WhatsApp group, because I was trying to think the best way to communicate with people in a way that works for me, but also in a way, I have a lot of people messaging me who are not on Instagram. So I think a WhatsApp group is just more versatile for everybody. And then I can post recipes and pictures and things into the group. And I think it'll be awesome. So send me your phone number if you want to be a part of the WhatsApp group. I just need to figure out how to make it so that if somebody replies, they reply just to me and not to the whole group, because I feel like I can't be in one of those groups where like people are just messaging all day craziness. I don't have time for that. So if you guys know how I can do that, just let me know. But yeah, send me your number, and we can get the WhatsApp group going. And I think like that's the best way for us to move forward. I feel like there was one other thing I wanted to say to you. I think I've pretty much covered everything. I'd really like your questions because I know everybody has questions. I don't know if you want to type them in the comments now or message me later, but yeah, just send me your questions. And definitely download this guide because it's a lot of information in this guide. I've had questions from vegans. The Whole30 is not really targeted to vegans. I looked at the vegan section of the book, and they do recommend that you try to eat some animal protein, but they also have suggestions for if you are like hardcore. When they say animal proteins, they suggest eggs and fish, but they do have suggestions for if you are hardcore vegan. So let me know if you have questions about that as well, because I am not, like I would basically have to read to you exactly what they say out of the book because I'm not really familiar with that side of it. But send me your questions and I'm happy to answer them. So do it as a broadcast to the group. Is that the WhatsApp group? I can have, Bermuda Diamond, DM me so we can have a conversation because I don't know what that means. But does anybody have any questions about how to tackle Whole30? What to start? Like this is Monday morning, guys. So like when you get up Monday morning, what I suggest is that people go grocery shopping tomorrow and start to do some sort of prep tomorrow so that Monday morning you can wake up knowing exactly what you're going to do. Like for me, I haven't been grocery shopping, but I know that I have enough food in my fridge right now to do. Is there a grocery list? They do have a grocery list. There is a grocery list in the starter kit. But thank you, Chelsea. Let me go get my computer and I'm gonna tell you what I think I'm gonna make this week, and then I can tell you, you can follow that grocery list because I am not going to follow it exactly as it is in the book because some of that stuff I kind of want to eat what I want to eat. So I'm just gonna run and get my computer. Give me 1 second. The spice bundle, I think I'm gonna put it on the site today so that deliveries can start on Monday. Yeah, I'll be right back. So for the meal plan for the first week, I was thinking that we could cook pan-seared salmon with green beans on Tuesday. So for that, you really just need salmon and green beans and some spices. On Wednesday, I was thinking it would be nice to do stuffed peppers. That's a good meal for vegetarians and meat eaters, because for the meat eaters, we would use some form of ground beef, whatever ground beef you prefer. I mean, ground meat, whatever you prefer. You can have lamb, pork, chicken, beef, whatever. And we would like saute it with vegetables and stuff it into peppers and roast it. And I've done that before when it's on Whole30, and that's like a really quick meal and easy and delicious. And if you want to take it for lunch the next day, then you can just make extra and take for lunch. Like for the people who don't like salads, I would suggest just make more of what you have for dinner, and then that will be your lunch the next day. And that's another really easy way to tackle the Whole30, is just by eating leftovers for lunch. So for the vegans, they can do a vegetable like medley and stuff that in the peppers. On Thursday, I was thinking I would do the whole roasted chicken and zucchini again. And you'll see what I'm saying here. It's like, these are literally 2 things that you have to buy and cook. Like, it makes it so easy. And then for me, I do whole roasted chicken, and because I'm a brown meat girl, I will save the breast and make chicken breast out of it, and then I can have like chicken salad the next day. So that's what I'm thinking of for the first week of the program, which means you're going to be left to your own devices on Monday and the weekend. I wanted to do Monday, but Monday really doesn't work for my schedule in terms of cooking in the evening. I don't get home early enough. So, yeah. And since I have you, since it's not a lot of questions, I can talk about other stuff that I wanted to tell you. So, for the vegans, I believe that you can have tofu. I'm not that familiar with tofu in terms of if a lot of vegans eat it, but so it says your best choices are minimally processed fermented soy products like tempeh or natto or organic edamame. You can also include non-fermented organic soy like tofu, and various legumes in rotation. So I think also pseudo cereals like quinoa are another gluten-free protein source. For the vegans, it makes some allowances when it comes to the grains, because I guess you have to eat something. So it does give a little bit of leeway for the people who don't want to eat any form of animal product, but it does suggest that still remains gluten-free. So it also says a hemp or pea protein powder is an option for you, although you would have to include quite a lot of it in your diet to get any substantial amount of protein at all. You want to read your labels to make sure the protein powders are Whole30 compliant though. So that's what I have for the vegans. But if you have specific questions, like I said, you can message me. But also it talks about the vitamins that you might be at risk for not getting. And one of them is vitamin B12. Yeah, well, it sounds like the main one is vitamin B12. So really think about how you're going to get your vitamin B12. And really you should think about that anyway. So. But yeah, unless there are no more questions, I think that I've covered everything. So yeah, send me your information if you want to be in the WhatsApp group, and that'll probably be the best way for you to get information, even though I'll still be doing things on Instagram, and I'll probably be posting things to YouTube, but the WhatsApp group is probably really our best option for interacting. So I guess on that note, I will be over and out. Yeah? Thanks for joining, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.